Hi, I'm Bill Laberis. I'm the Senior Editorial Director at IDG's Custom Solutions Group, and I'm joined here today by Andrzej, who is Chief Technology Officer at Enterprise Security Services at HP, and by Master Blogger Bob Gourley of CTOVision.com. Bob, Andrzej, thanks very much for joining me today.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
I want to talk to you both about problems with traditional approaches to enterprise security, and I'd like to start with you, Andrzej, if I can. What would you say are the characteristics of what we might call a traditional or customary approach to enterprise security today?
Interestingly, I think the enterprise security function is a very, very hard one. And traditionally, we've approached it in quite a reactive way, which has been to understand an incident and then try to put that right through a series of processes. I think security has also been more of an art than a science. So I don't think we've been able to really understand the interactions between different technologies and threat vectors in quite the robust way that I think we understand a network or a data center. And I think finally the biggest characteristic that we're seeing is that security has existed below the level of the CIO and the board. And I think that's one of the major challenges that faces a CISO and a CIO today.
Mm-hmm. And that's obviously dangerous given the implications of a major attack on any organization today. Bob, what's wrong with those approaches?
Well, so unfortunately, those approaches don't give you what has been the goal, which has been a good, solid defense in depth, protecting your assets and your infrastructure for a lot of reasons that you just articulated. It is somewhat reactive. It's thinking about the current battle or the last battle. It's not thinking about the future. And it's not thinking about this transformation of the enterprise that we're all currently experiencing, where there's more of a shift to providing capabilities from the enterprise using cloud kind of capabilities to users who are not using PCs that much anymore, using mobile devices. So I would say what's wrong with the old approach? Two things. It does not take into account the need for a defense in depth of your enterprise, and it does not prepare you to move to this new post-PC era.
Okay, well, Andrzej, given all that Bob just said as far as what's wrong with these approaches, what would be a logical list of priorities for CIOs and CISOs to begin to follow today?
I think the first priority for a CIO and a CISO is to take a transformational view. So how do they move from that reactive traditional model to a place where they're able to have a much more optimized security posture? Now those are great words, but what does that really mean for them? I think they need to be able to take a much more analytical view of the data that they see across their organization. So whether that is correlation of security events or the external threat feeds that we all need to build upon, I think that's all very important. Secondly, to be able to take all of the security professionals across your organization and create a single team. You know, a central capability that can really deliver a much greater depth of security. So
Bob, given all of that, can you come up with a list of priorities to CIOs and CISOs as they move forward and try to get their hands more around this security monster?
You know, the most important thing I think they all already know, which is you have to treat this as a discipline. It's very important that security be seen as a discipline on its own. The second thing I believe should be on everybody's mind is this big data approach, getting all the data quickly together so you can correlate events, figure out what the bad guys are doing, bringing in external data, doing rapid analysis over it, and helping to use that to protect your enterprise and do forensics after there is a breach.
Andrzej, anything you'd add to that in terms of a little to-do list for CIOs?
Absolutely. I think the analytics point is a great one. You know, being able to articulate in real time to your operational staff, you know, the outcome of that analytics work is vital. I think being able to take a transformational view to explain to the board of your organization how you're going to improve the security posture step by step is vital. And I think finally, being able to articulate to that board your posture, to aggregate all of that information that you talked about and show them how you are trying to enable and secure their enterprise. I think that's absolutely critical.
Excellent. Andrzej Kawalec from HP, Bob Gourley, popular blogger, thank you both very much for joining me today.
Thank you.
And I'm Bill Laberis from IDG saying thank you for joining me as well.